जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोधनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोधनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यमुनतीरावनचारि यमुनतीरावनचारि जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोधनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यमुनतीरावनचारि यमुनतीरावनचारि हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण हरे Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jayo Prabhupada, Jayo Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Jayo Jayo Prabhupada, 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 Jayo Jayo Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. युधर हरिनाम संकीर्तन की, जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया, भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी. So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, The Creative Impetus, Chapter 5, Lord Rishabhadev's Teaching, Text 34. So I will read this prose, then we will go for word to word meaning. एवं गो मृग काकचरयया व्रजं तिष्ठन् आसीनः शयनः काकमृगगोचरितः पिबति खादत्य अवमेधति स्म. Word to word meaning. Evam, thus, go, of cows, mruga, deer, kaka, crows, charayaya, by the activities, vrajan, moving, tishthan, standing, Asinaha, sitting. Shayanaha, lying down. Kaka mruga gocharitah, behaving exactly like the crows, deer, and cows. Pibati, drinks. Khadati, eats. Avamihati, passes urine. Sama, he did so. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Translation. In this way, Lord Rishabdev followed the behavior of cows, deer, and crows. Sometimes he moved or walked, and sometimes he sat down in one place, sometimes he lay down. Behaving exactly like cows, deer, and crows, in this way he ate, drank, passed stool and urine, and cheated the people in this way. Purport. Being the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Rishabdev possessed a transcendental spiritual body. Since the general public could not appreciate his behavior and mystic yoga practice, they began to disturb him. To cheat them, he behaved like crows, cows, and deer. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamavyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamlam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादां सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नामिने गौरतिशवे नमः। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिकाकान्त राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरं। हरि ओम तत्सत्। Hare Krishna. So we are at the end of this chapter, 5th chapter, Lord Rishabdev's teaching. So last but one sloka we are discussing. So in the translation this said, in this way Lord Rishabdev followed the behavior of cows, deer and crows. Sometimes he moved or walked, sometimes he sat down in one place, sometimes he lay down, behaving exactly like cows, deer and crows. In this way he ate, drank, passed stool and urine and treated the people in this way. So here in the previous slokas also we have discussed about the transcendental activities of Lord Rishabdev. So here some of the more details are being given in this the sloka. So here we see like Rishabdev, after giving the teachings to his 100 sons, and he appointed Bharat Maharaj to take care of his kingdom, and he retired, and he came to the forest, and he behaving as an Avadut. Avadut is the one who doesn't have any connection with this material world. So their behavior is completely different. We cannot judge by seeing his behavior. So it may be an offense. There are so many stories in the Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Charitamrita, and previous acharyas has been they have enacted in this way, and there are so many lessons what we learn from those kind of pastimes. So in the class we will discuss few of them. So here Rishabdev, one way you can see like in the purport Prabhupada writes here, like Lord Rishabdev possesses transcendental spiritual body, and his behavior was like and he was doing mystic practice also, mystic yoga practice. In the next verse, that elaborately describes about like how this mystic yoga can be acquired by a devotee or a transcendentalist who is practicing Krishna consciousness or devotee of the Lord Krishna. That clearly mentioned in the next sloka, so that we will come to know tomorrow. So in here Prabhupada gives a hint that his behavior was completely transcendental, and he was practicing some kind of mystic yoga, and general people, they may not able to understand it. So, and they started keep disturbing him. So Rishabdev finally thought that let me behave like an animal. So here it is clearly mentioned that his behavior was exactly like cows, deer and crows. So everyone has seen this cows. So one of the nature of the cow is like they are very peaceful. They won't get disturbed by anyone, and they sit at one place and they keep chewing their food, whatever they had, and they are completely like disconnected from this material world. They are completely peaceful, and whoever goes and pats them like okay, and they allows us. Especially when I go to Girdhari Mandir, especially I take time to go to Goshala, because they are very nice cows. They are very friendly. So here, and we can see like cows, they are least bothered. Like in the villages, especially we see in my hometown also, I see every day morning and evening, night also they sit in the middle of the road, as if like they are nothing bothered about like where they are sitting and what going to happen for them, because they are completely peaceful. They are not at all caring for this material world. Similarly here, this cow is compared with the behavior of the Rishabdev. So Rishabdev also started acting like a cow, saying like he is completely detached from this material world. The things whatever happening around him, he is least bothered. And deer, so one of the behavior of the deer is like it is very difficult to catch a deer. It runs so fast, and they are got attracted to a light actually. So only like mostly when you are traveling in a kind of forest nearby or the hills, you can see in the night time they come in front of the vehicles, because they got attracted to the light, so they come in between. So as soon as when they see a person, then immediately they run off from that place, and we can't even see like where they have went, how far they went. So deers are like very fast. It's very difficult to catch them. And crows you can see like uh, they are like one of the uh, animal which bird which like always likes garbage, and they like to be there in the garbage. They like to be there, search something out of garbage, and they are very happy within their garbage. So here we can see like Rishabdev acquired this behavior from a crow, saying that he ate, he drank, and he passed stool and urine there itself, making the surrounding as a garbage, so that people who are keep on disturbing him can avoid coming to him. So in this way, like Rishabdev was cheating the people, so that they should not come near to him to disturb. And moreover, like people not able to understand this transcendental behavior of the Rishabdev, they are doing so much offense. They are beating him, they are like throwing stones on him, and many things they were doing. So just to make sure that they should not do any more offense for him, so he was doing this kind of activity. So I was hearing the Prabhupada lecture there. Prabhupada very nicely makes some points. Prabhupada says, although he was the emperor, but when he took the position of a avaduta without any connection of body, he became like ordinary animals, exemplifying that so far the body is connected, the activities of body, there is no difference between the lower animal and the higher animals. Or in other words, without spiritual conception of life, simply in the bodily conception of life, we are equal with the animals. Ahar Nidra Bhayam Aitunamsa. So Prabhupada quotes this. So here one of the definition Prabhupada gives Avadhuta is like he doesn't have any connection with the body. And Prabhupada says like especially like he was like behaving like animal, saying that so far the body is connected, the activities of the body, there is no difference between the animal. So he is showing an example, saying that the people who are connected to this body, they are equivalent to the animal, because they are on the bodily platform and their behavior is as like a animal. What are the animal do's? Ahara, Nidra, Bhaya, Maitunan. So these are four things which animal is doing, and the person who is attached to this body, he is also doing the same thing. So there is no difference between the animal and the person who is attached to his body. So here Rishabdev is setting an example, saying that he is completely detached from his body. So only he is not caring about his own stool and urine, because he himself thinks that I am not this body, I am not attached to this body. And by the way, we have in the previous lectures we have heard like what is the like transcendental, how the transcendental body is, and how aromatic the stool and urine also of a transcendental body, right? So it's not like a material body which the stool urine stinks. If someone passes stool nearby also, like I remember like when we went to car market, when we are parking the car, it's very abominable place. Everywhere you can feel like stinking smell of a stool or urine, sorry. Everyone has passed and it was like very bad smell. But Lord's body is not like that. His body is completely transcendental. Whatever comes out, even sweat comes out, it is very aromatic. It is said like his stool and urine fragrance what like spread 80 miles. It's like 130 kilometers, 120 kilometers. In one lecture, one Maharaj was saying so Lord passes stool in Vrindavan means till Delhi it smells the fragrance, because Delhi to Vrindavan distance is 130 kilometers. So means Lord's activities are transcendental here, and Prabhupada says people who are completely attached to this body, so they are equivalent to the animals. And Prabhupada confirms this without spiritual conception of life, simply in the bodily conception of life, we are equal to the animals. So without spiritual life, whatever the materialistic life is completely an animalistic life. So and we also know the goal of life is to attain the spiritual abode, spiritual Krishna. So that is our goal, and one who is not taking that opportunity to practice it means he is going to the animalistic life. He is not practicing. He is not completely utilizing the opportunity what he has been given. And at the end of this purport, Prabhupada also says that these activities has no value. The Prabhupada says we have to cease these activities, and we shall consider such activities are no better than the activities of crows, cows and other animals are there. These activities have no value, as the crow or the hog and the dogs. They are engaged the whole day activities, but these activities have no value. The human form of life are not meant for these activities. Their purpose is to make these activities and the activities of the crow and cows and lower animals only Krishna conscious activities. How to serve Krishna? That is a bona fide. This is our life or real life. So Prabhupada says, even Prabhupada included some more animals here, like saying that dogs, hogs and other animals, the activity what they do, that doesn't have any value. So that is not the main necessity of the human life. Animals, they don't know what they are doing. They don't have much intelligence. But the human beings have much higher intelligence than animals. So even though having this intelligence, people misuse that only for the eating, mating, sleeping, defending, thus those activities have no value. Prabhupada clearly says. So the actual value of the life is to be engaged every day, to be engaged in the Krishna conscious activities. That gives the meaning to the life. That is our layer life, Prabhupada says. So without engaging our activities into Krishna's activities, it is difficult. So, and we know it's not that hard to engage each and every activity in the Krishna service. So only thing is you should be intelligent, how can I use this activity in the Krishna service? That has to be thought. So that's where intelligence is required. So even though someone is working, so how can they use their work profession into the Krishna service? So that they have to think and they have to engage. So they have to dovetail their thoughts, so material thoughts into the spiritual thoughts. So the activity is same. The what you call that consciousness differs. That's all. And we see there are many stories or many examples, especially our acharyas who also demonstrated this Rishabdev's pastime behavior. Especially if you see in our acharyas, we have Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj. So just to avoid the materialistic people, he used to go to the public toilets and be there all the time. So you see people who goes to public toilet, they don't spend much time there. They finish their job duty and they just go off. So they don't disturb other people, they don't have worldly talks over there. Nowadays people prefer newspapers in that place also, but that is different. So but Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj used to prefer the place so that he used to feel peaceful in that place. We can see the place is very abominable, we can't even imagine to stay there. But since this person is Acharya, who is like in transcendental platform, so he don't have any kind of connection with that and any kind of like feelings towards that. So it is difficult for us to practice also and to understand also. But yes, great acharyas, they have followed the path of Rishabdev also. And in Chaitanya Charitamrita, one more pastime comes about the Pundarik Vidyanidhi. Most of you might have heard this. So one day Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says to Mukunda and Gadadhar Pandit to be there with the Mukunda and assist him. And one day Mukunda, he thought like, there was a great Vaishnava who has come to this place, so let's go and meet. So he took Gadadhar with him. And who is Gadadhar? Yeah, he is Radharani. And in Krishna Lila, he is Radharani. In Chaitanya Lila, he is acting as a Gadadhar, who is, Gadadhar's parents, they were like, staying very close to the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's house. Sachi mother Sachi used to call Gadadhar's mother as a sister. So they have that kind of friendly relationship, very, very nice relationships. And even Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to love Gadadhar like anything. So he likes Gadadhar very much. So one day happens like Mukunda and Gadadhar, they went to see this Vaishnava. So when Gadadhar, both of them, when they went inside, so they saw this person, Pundarik Vidyanidhi, was having very luxurious life. He was wearing the silken clothes, very gorgeous clothes, and he was having ornaments, golden ornaments, and he was being serving by so many maid servants, and he was eating pan, and so many other things were there, and many people were dancing in front of him, and he was enjoying like a royal person. So as soon as when Gadadhar saw, he felt in his mind that Mukunda said me that he will show me Vaishnava. It doesn't look like he is a Vaishnava. He just thought. Then Mukunda next to him, he saw the Gadadhar and understood like Gadadhar is having some doubt. So immediately Mukunda, what he did, he recited one sloka from the Srimad Bhagavatam. The sloka was about the Putana, how merciful Lord has given the position of a mother to a Putana, even she came to kill the Lord Krishna. So Krishna was not seeing any the intention behind the Putana coming and killing him. Rather, he takes this small activity that she wanted to feed him. So he gave the position of a mother in the Golok Vrindavan. So as soon as he recited this sloka, Pundarik, he heard, then he became very mad. And he was tearing up his clothes and he was rolling in the ground. He became completely mad, and he was, people were not able to control him. He was in ecstasy, he was in crying. So then Gadadhar understood like, oh, I did a big offense. I thought that he is not a Vaishnava. So here this example is given for understanding like that we can't judge a person by the external behavior or external like appearance. So one example, one Maharaj in the lecture was saying like the person who has a love to the Lord, he likes to serve more. Example was, Maharaj was saying like a person, he wanted to offer some bhoga to the Lord, fruits. So person, one devotee comes, he just simply cut the fruits without peeling it, without washing it, just cut it and put it and offer to the Lord. And one more devotee comes, he nicely decorate, he cut the fruits very nicely, and he decorate the plate very nicely, and he offered tulsi, put a tulsi, and with lot of love and care, he goes and offer to the Lord with a lot of devotion. So with these two devotees, we can say like the devotee who has spending more time in the service and taking care of small things also into consideration, we can say like this person has a lot of love to the Lord than the one more devotee who has just simply in hurry comes and does. Even though he may be very the first devotee, he may be very uh, good in like cooking, very expert in cooking, but still the activity what he did was like fruitless because he is not using it in a right way, in a right proper mood. So Maharaj was saying like if you have love to the Lord, so we will take care of each and every thing, activity of the Lord. Not that only one thing I will take care and the rest of the thing okay, I don't care. Maybe other devotees can take care, or maybe someone else will take care. Why should I bother about it? When the service is being given, he will take care of end to end, starting to end. Not that he just put show like I did this, see I have done it, but everything you have messed up inside. So that is not the right service. So Maharaj was saying like no, this is not the true love for the Lord. So here Pundari like Gadadhar, when he committed a offense, mental offense, then he felt like it's a Vaishnava aparad. So he felt like to come out of this aparad, I should take initiation from Pundarik Vidyanidhi. And in this way, like Pundarik Vidyanidhi became a spiritual master to the Gadadhar Pandit. And you see, even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also used to respect Gadadhar Pandit so much, because Gadadhar Pandit is also a disciple of Madhavendra Puri, who is a spiritual master of Ishwar Puri. So in that sense, like he feel like he is a equivalent to his spiritual master, so he used to respect a lot Pundarik Vidyanidhi. So but externally, if you see like he is having a lot of opulence and he was enjoying that. So but internally you can see like he is very much attached to the Lord, and these external things is not affecting him at all. One more pastime which I remember is like who is that? Ramananda Rai. He used to dress the women in for the drama, I think, right? So now we can't even imagine that, right? So it is difficult to understand because they are not on the bodily platform where they are getting affected. Even we just think about like not seeing, just one thought, a bad thought also like agitators, disturbs a lot. But these kind of devotees, like pure devotees, they are completely not affected at all. So we can't imitate them actually. We can't imitate this. So it is very difficult, and it's like we commit a lot of offenses also. So here the pastime of Lord Rishabdev is clearly mentioning like why he is behaving like this, because like he don't want to get attached to his body, so he want to get disconnected, so that he is teaching us by his example. So he has given a lot of teachings to his sons. Now he is setting an example how to execute that. So even like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also did the same thing. So not only that he preached, he set an example with following it, and people who are there used to get inspired by seeing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself following that. So that was like not only we only preach, but we also follow it. So that is also very important. So when we follow and when we preach it, So it gives more impact to the other people. It directly penetrates the heart because we are also practicing it and we are also following it. People outside, they just say but they don't follow. There's so many examples Prabhupada also gives in the lectures. Like, Mayavadas, like, they give Bhagat Sapta, they give, and just for the money, and they show symptoms, ecstatic symptoms on the stage for money. So a lot of money comes, then they show more ecstasies. Less money comes, less ecstasies. As soon as they finish their sapta, they go back of the stage and they smoke ganja, cigarette, whatever it is. So that is not a right. This one, like, they are giving something, they should follow also. They are teaching something, they have to follow also. So only like Prabhupada says, before ISKCON has established, so many people were there coming to the Western countries trying to give this kind of spiritual activities, but no one, not even one person has become a devotee. Prabhupada says that. But we, as soon as when we came, we are giving that as it is, the knowledge as it is, without any adulteration or without any speculation. So you can see, like, immediate effect. In one lecture, one conversation with the priest, church priest, he says, like, the same people never used to come to the church, but now the same people coming to the church and they are very devoted. Prabhupada says, because in their teaching they don't have these kind of devotion activity to the Lord. They have internal motives. So when they speak, keeping their internal motives and keeping aside the Lord's intentions or what is the Lord message, pure message, so that doesn't influence the person. That doesn't purify the heart of a person. So only when whatever we preach, we give message as it is. Try to give the message as it is. Maybe I am not a potent person to affect you by the message, but message is so potent that when I give the message as it is, maybe it will, like, change your heart. That can be happen. Krishna enter into your heart and do some magic in your heart. You can do that. But the thing is, like, message has to be given as it is. So in this way, like, Rishabdev was setting these kind of example and completely trying to avoid these materialistic people who are disturbing him and who are unknowingly committing so many offenses to the Lord. So to save them, he is, like, practice these kind of severe austerities. Not severe means like he is like behaving like a avadut. So with this, like, just pause today's class. So any questions, comments, corrections? Pundarik Gidani. Gadadhar took initiation from Pundarik Vidyanidhi, and Pundarik Vidyanidhi is a disciple of Madhavendra Puri. Deer and crow. Even I didn't understand
Hare Krishna, thank you very much for the class. Avadhut is completely a person who is completely internally absorbed in Krishna consciousness and is fully oblivious of the material world outside. You very nicely explained how the Avadhuta can sometimes act like a cow, and even in the most difficult situation, he may be sitting very peacefully. You give the example of how cows sit on a road as if it is their father's road. So, so Avadhutas are like that. The whole world is going crazy. They are sitting. Similarly, deers are very fast. So it's very difficult to catch up with Avadhutas. That is what it means. If somebody wants to bring an Avadhut to their home, they'll be crazy running around. Uh, so a cow is very easy to interact with. A cow is very easy to deal with because they don't run around. But Avadhutas are not just cows; they are more than cows. So if you find an Avadhut somewhere and if you want to serve him, and then by the time you bring him water, they may be somewhere else doing something else. So it's very difficult to catch up with Avadhutas. Lastly, they are scavengers. I mean, crows are scavengers. That example of Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj was very appropriate. People don't like to deal with people who are externally not very clean. So Avadhutas, on purpose, they will be in such a situation where, for example, Nityanand Prabhu, on purpose, he'll be found in and around uh, bars and pubs where people are drinking. So he would go there and talk to them and bring them into Krishna consciousness. So these are some of the moods of the Avadhuta. Now, Avadhuta will not get affected by the activities like a crow, or they will not be affected if by the social customs, if they run away like a deer, and they are always peaceful. That's my understanding. The point that people who are on the bodily platform, they will act like animals. So sometimes to live with animal-like people, one has Avadhutas have to act like animals. Only Krishna consciousness gives meaning to our life. Otherwise, it's has no meaning. And Avadhutas are by default. I mean, the topmost Vaishnava is the Avadhuta, and Vaishnavera Kriyamudrana Vighena Vijaya. Nobody can understand the mood of a Vaishnava, and one should not judge also. Uh, you very nicely gave the examples of Pundrik Vidyanidhi and Ramanand Rai, how they were not on the bodily platform. However, even when they were an Avadhuta, any service which they would do, they would give a lot of attention to the detail. So this means that they were not mad, and Avadhuta looks mad. But when if the way they serve the Lord is very much pleased with them. Whatever we preach, we should also follow. Otherwise, our preaching will not have any effect. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you for the nice class. So many points to learn from this class, that if we really have love for Krishna, so we take each and everything, attention in detail for each and everything we take, and do that service from end to end in a proper way. And that not just preach, but also have to follow. So whatever is there. But even though you gave one more point, even if I'm not capable person, but the message is very potent. It is regarding Krishna. So that message has the power to change the people's heart, even if I'm not at that level to speak about. So these are the few points which I'm doing. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Puritanappadam. So one I like the points is that you were said about the offenses, Prabhuji, because Lord behaving like Avaduta, passing stolen urine, and people, because of that, people didn't come there and disturb the Lord. If they do any offenses the Lord, then they offended the Lord. So that's why Lord doing this pastime and to avoiding the people, and he also doing that meditation, that yoga you were saying about yoga. So that's why the one main thing is that people should not offend any more the Lord. That's why the pastimes doing this, Lord. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. You nicely said that we should not judge a Vaishnava's external behavior, and nicely told that two devotees analogy, that one devotee is like hatchpatch, he's doing the service, and another devotee is whatever service given, we should do love and care. That should be the mood, and thus like bad thoughts agitates our mind, but with pure devotee they never agitated by the thoughts, and we should follow and try to preach that, and for we should try to give the message as it is. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. So as you mentioned this point that purification will only happen when we practice, and just like to give the examples of these Mayavadis, like Prabhupada used to give, that they may give very eloquent lectures and they may speak very nicely, attract a lot of audience, but no one will get benefit because they don't practice what they speak. So that will be a useless waste of time. And second, you gave the example that appearances, like we should not judge by appearances, they can be deceptive. Like this Gadadhar Pandit and Mukunda went to Pundrik Vidyanidhi, but Gadadhar mentally did offense on Pundrik Vidyanidhi, judging by the appearance. So we should not judge a Vaishnava by the appearance. We should actually see like how he's following and practicing. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी आपने बताया कि हम कोई वैष्णव को ऐसा बाहर से देख के जज नहीं करना चाहिए, क्योंकि उनका अंदर से क्या चल रहा है भगवान को पता है, हमको पता नहीं। हम ऐसा उनका दोस्त या कुछ भी नहीं निकलना चाहिए, और हम कुछ प्रीच करें तो पहले हमको फॉलो कर रहे हैं कि नहीं देखना चाहिए, तो प्रीच करने में वो इम्पैक्ट होता है, नहीं तो नहीं होता। ऐसा बहुत सारा मोटिवेशनल स्पीकर बोलते हैं, कुछ नहीं। हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you for nice class. So, like as everyone told, like so, like the from external appearance we can't able to judge the Vaishnavas, and also like Rishabh Dev followed the behavior of cows, nothing but like does not bother about the material bodies. And the third point, very nice point you told. Whatever the devotional service we are doing, so we have to be patience and be concentration in that devotional service. How we have to please on the Lord. Even if you are telling, like even if the cutting the apples also, so how nicely we have to offer that bhoga to Lord. That is very nice. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, you mentioned very nicely that how a Vaishnava should do service. Like when he's having prem towards Krishna, then he will take care of each and everything and then do the service, giving 100% so that it will please God. That I like from Hare Krishna.